My sister sabotaged my wedding dress, so I switched it and let her ruin her own life. My wedding was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I had dreamed about it for years, the white dress, the beautiful ceremony, the perfect moment with my fiancé. But nothing went as planned, and the person I trusted most, my own sister, was the one who tried to destroy it all. I'm Emily, 27, and for as long as I can remember, my sister Megan has always been complicated. We were close growing up, but after Dad died, everything changed. Megan got bitter, jealous, and started acting like she wanted everything I had. She would make snide comments about my achievements, my fiancé, and especially my wedding plans. My mom kept telling me to ignore her, that it was just jealousy, but I could feel the tension growing. About 2 months before the wedding, I found out my dream wedding dress was mysteriously ruined. The lace was torn, the beading pulled apart, and it looked like someone had deliberately sabotaged it. The boutique said there was no way to fix it in time. I was devastated. I couldn't imagine walking down the aisle in anything else. At first, I had no idea who could have done it. Then, little hints started to add up. Megan had been acting suspiciously, disappearing with my dress under the guise of checking on it, but she was never honest about what she was doing. My best friend, Sarah, mentioned she saw Megan hanging around the boutique late one night. And then came the text from an anonymous number: "Your dress won't be the only thing ruined." I confronted Megan. She denied everything, crying and telling me I was imagining things. But I knew the truth. My sister was trying to steal my moment. That's when I decided to take matters into my own hands. After the dress sabotage, I was a wreck. The boutique said there was no way to get another dress like mine on such short notice. But then, I remembered the second dress I had tried on, the one I didn't pick because it was too simple and not me. I had taken pictures of it, and, surprisingly, it was still available at the boutique. So, I went to the boutique late at night, alone, to pick up that dress. It wasn't my dream dress, but I could make it work. I had my mom and Sarah help me accessorize and tailor it to make it more unique. It was elegant and simple, a little underwhelming compared to what I had imagined, but it was better than nothing. Meanwhile, Megan was still acting like nothing was wrong. She kept texting me, pretending to check on me, but I ignored her. I suspected she had bigger plans, and I needed to be ready. Here's where I made my move. The night before the wedding, when everyone was asleep, I went to Megan's room. She was out late at a friend's house. I carefully switched the dresses. I took the ruined dress from its hiding place and put it in Megan's closet, replacing it with the backup dress I had carefully kept hidden. I also left a little surprise in her closet, a note that said, "If you think you can ruin my day, think again." I wanted Megan to know I was onto her, but I also wanted to see how she'd react when she realized the dresses had been swapped. The next day, the wedding started with the usual excitement. Megan was strangely quiet and distant. When it was time for the bridal party to get ready, she ran to her room to put on what she thought was my dress, but it was the destroyed one. The look on her face when she saw it was priceless. Horror, disbelief, anger, all of it rolled into one. I heard her scream from the other room. She knew I had beaten her at her own game. I stayed calm, walking down the aisle in a simple dress, and I swear, everyone was captivated by how stunning I looked. No one could believe it was the backup dress. That day, Megan's sabotage blew up in her face, and she had no idea what was coming next. Megan's scream echoed through the house and soon the whole wedding party was buzzing with confusion. She burst into the bridal suite, still clutching the ruined dress, tears streaming down her face, accusing me loudly of betrayal. Everyone stared, stunned. My mom looked horrified, but I stayed composed. I couldn't give Megan the satisfaction of seeing me break. The moment had shifted, from celebration to chaos. What shocked everyone most was the dress I was wearing. The simple one Megan had sabotaged had turned into something beautiful with a few clever tweaks. My stylist's touch, some last-minute additions of lace and pearls, made it glow. The photos later proved it, the dress was unique and breathtaking. Guests kept coming up to me, complimenting how elegant and timeless it looked. My fiancé held my hand tightly, whispering how proud he was. That felt like a victory in itself. But Megan wasn't done. In front of the guests, she started blurting out accusations, saying I was jealous of her, that I had tried to ruin her reputation, that I had staged the entire sabotage to frame her. It was a spectacle, and some people actually believed her. That's when I made my decision. I calmly pulled out my phone and showed a video Sarah had secretly recorded the night Megan snuck into the boutique. Megan's face, caught on camera, was clearly tampering with the dress. The room fell silent. Megan's mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. My mom's eyes filled with tears as she looked between us. After that, Megan's world started to unravel. My family stopped trusting her, and even her closest friends started distancing themselves. What hurt most was seeing my sister, the one who should have been celebrating with me, become so alone because of her own choices. But I wasn't finished yet. Megan's sabotage wasn't just about a dress. It was about years of bitterness and resentment. And now, it was time she faced the consequences. The days after the wedding were a whirlwind. Megan retreated from the family, barely speaking to anyone. She sent passive-aggressive texts, but I blocked most of them. My family was divided, caught between sadness and frustration. But here's what shocked me the most: Megan's true colors came out when she started trying to win people back, not with apologies, but with manipulation. She went around telling neighbors and relatives that I had staged everything to make her look bad. She claimed I was the jealous sister who couldn't handle being second best. A few distant relatives even started doubting me. But my closest friends and fiancé stood by me. They knew the truth because of the evidence, but it still hurt that some believed her lies. Then, I learned something even worse. Megan had been sabotaging me behind the scenes for years, from minor things like hiding my important documents to spreading rumors about me at work. The dress incident was just the peak of the iceberg. I was furious but also sad. I kept wondering how a sister could become so bitter. What hurt even more was my mom's silence. She didn't want to pick sides, but her quiet felt like a betrayal. So, I made a bold choice. I invited Megan to meet me, just the two of us, away from the chaos. I wanted to hear her out, try to understand why she had become so resentful. When we met, Megan broke down. She said she felt invisible, overshadowed, like I had everything handed to me while she struggled. She felt like no one cared about her. It was heartbreaking. I told her I wished she had talked to me instead of trying to ruin my day. I said that family should lift each other up, not tear each other down. She promised to try and change, but I knew healing would take time, and trust would be the hardest thing to rebuild. After our emotional meeting, Megan and I started to slowly rebuild our relationship, though cautiously. It wasn't easy. Trust, once broken, is like shattered glass. It never fits perfectly again. But the real healing began when Megan took responsibility publicly. She apologized at a small family gathering, admitting what she did and why she did it. It was the hardest thing she'd ever done, but it changed everything. Some family members remained skeptical, but most saw her honesty as a sign of growth. Meanwhile, my wedding dress story became a lesson in resilience. I started sharing my experience online, talking about how betrayal from family hurts but overcoming it makes you stronger. The story struck a chord with thousands, many reaching out with their own stories. Through it all, my fiancé was my rock. He told me he loved me not for a perfect dress or flawless day but for my strength and kindness, even when things got messy. As for Megan, she's still working on herself. We aren't as close as before, but there's respect and a cautious hope for better days. Looking back, I realized the wedding dress was never just fabric and lace. It was a symbol of rivalry, pain, but also forgiveness and growth. And in the end, the sister who tried to ruin my day unknowingly helped me become a stronger, wiser woman.